Hello and Assalamualaikum. My group is going to present about Kazakhstan Islamic finance. So, let's start. First is introduction. Islamic banking in Kazakhstan was started in 2007 when the Kazakh regulator promulgated the announcement to issue Islamic securities called sukuk, interest-free bond, in the local currency. This development were part of the Kazakh government development plans to be financed by Islamic financial instrument. In effort to become the Islamic financial center of the Eurasian Economic Union and Central Asian, Kazakhstan has so far adopted 3 sets of legislative amendments in 2009, 2011 and 2015. The AIFC that was established in 2018 adopted the Master Plan Roadmap for the Development of Islamic Finance in Kazakhstan, which provide measures for developing Islamic finance activities in the country in terms of further legislative change and such. Because of the aforementioned initiative of the government of Kazakhstan that create a specific legal and regulatory framework for Islamic finance, there are 2 fully operating Islamic bank in Kazakhstan. First is Al-Hilal Bank and Zaman Bank, which was previously a commercial bank but received permission from the National Bank of Kazakhstan (NBK) in 2016 to convert into an Islamic bank. In addition, an Islamic leasing Ijarah Company, Kazakhstan Ijarah Company, an Islamic Mutual Insurance Company, Mutual Insurance Company Takaful, and a multifunctional Islamic financial organization, as SOC, finance are all present in Kazakhstan. Importantly, there is no unified Islamic finance law in Kazakhstan. Instead, domestic Islamic finance transactions are regulated by Kazakhstan General Banking, Securities, Insurance and other relevant legislation. Foreign Islamic financial institutions are not allowed to offer regulated Islamic banking and capital market service in Kazakhstan. For example, they cannot be treated as a Kazakh Islamic bank or a Kazakh insurance firm, but they can generally engage in cross-border Islamic finance transactions such as cross-border sukuk. Generally, Kazakh law treat Islamic product equally with their corresponding conventional product, so that there is a level playing field for Islamic finance. For instance, so-called Kazakh Islamic Bank incorporated in Kazakhstan are treated more or less in the same way as a Kazakh conventional bank. The principal authority charged with the oversight of Islamic and conventional banking, capital market and insurance product is the NBK. There is no specific supervisory authority for Islamic financial institution. A Kazakh Islamic bank is a Kazakh commercial bank. It shall be incorporated as a Kazakh joint stock company, created as such but with an Islamic banking license issued by the NBK. An Islamic banking license authorizes a Kazakh Islamic bank to conduct inter alia the following specific operation: accept interest-free demand deposit and finance commercial operation through the purchase or sale of goods or by way of participation in project leasing and such. In February 2016, the first project in the framework of Islamic finance using the Ijarah product Islamic leasing was implemented in Kazakhstan by Development Bank of Kazakhstan. In addition, Islamic Bank Al-Hilal expanded its range of service by launching Islamic banking product for individual in 2017. Islamic insurance Kazakh law specially provide for such concept as takaful and takaful operator. Islamic insurance under Kazakh law is a system of mutual protection where one policyholder pays to reimburse the losses of another policyholder. The pool for which is managed by a takaful operator, takaful must be carried out by Kazakh takaful operator only. Kazakh Islamic securities certify the right of their holder for the portion of the material asset and the right to the disposal of such asset and the income derived from such asset, service and other asset of the particular project for financing of which Islamic security have been issued.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Hazim FITRI bin HASHIM and my matrix number is 273915. Today I would like to present about the development of Islamic capital market in Kazakhstan. Okay, first of all we need to understand what is capital market. Capital market is refer to any financial market where debt and equity are demanded and supplied. A capital market will help investor to find a platform to making money on their investment and help both borrower and investor by channeling funds from those with exist fund to those in need of such fund. The function of capital market is to raise fund for businesses and government. Okay, for the Islamic capital market, we need to understand that Islamic capital market is where Sharia compliant financial asset and are transacted. It works parallel to the conventional market and helps investor to find Sharia compliant investment opportunities. So basically, the function of Islamic capital market similar with the function of capital market. So yeah, let's we begin to our next part. Okay, in Kazakhstan, there are Kazakh Islamic securities, which the securities that involved in Islamic capital market in Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan Islamic securities certify the right of their holder for the portion of the material asset and the right to the disposal of such asset and the income derived from such asset, service and other asset of the particular project for financing of which Islamic securities have been issued. Kazakh Islamic securities include share and units of Islamic investment fund, Islamic list certificate, Islamic participation certificate and other security recognized as Islamic securities by Kazakh law. Importantly, Kazakh Islamic security may be paid only in cash. The prospectus of Islamic securities shall be approved by the Social Council on the principle of Islamic finance that may be engaged by issue based on the agreement. Okay, in 2012, the Development Bank of Kazakhstan issued RM 240 million, equivalent to 5.5% of Sukuk Murabah facilities under its RM 1.5 billion in Islamic Medium Term Note Program. To the best, however, these sukuk facilities were issued on a cross-border basis and were governed by foreign rather than Kazakh law, and therefore cannot be considered as a Kazakh Islamic securities. Interestingly, the board of directors of the Development Bank of Kazakhstan on the 23rd February 2017, they decide to annul this RM 1.5 billion program with full satisfaction of current liabilities by the 31st December 2017. Accordingly to the Minister of Finance, Kazakhstan plans to place sukuk on the AIFC exchange in the next 2 years. The placement of sovereign sukuk will be a huge step forward to the development of the Islamic finance in Kazakhstan, and a sign to the investor that the government of Kazakhstan is particularly interested in Islamic finance. So the conclusion is the Islamic capital market in Kazakhstan, they quite similar with other Islamic country that they offer of securities of investment, asset and service. So it's no doubt that the Kazakhstan have similar framework with other Islamic country such as Malaysia. So yeah, this is the the development of Islamic capital market in Kazakhstan. Okay, thank you.
Hi guys, Assalamualaikum. I am Muhammad Irfan bin RAZALI with the ID number 272230. So as for today's, I think all of you have heard my friend's presentation. So for today, I want to share with all of you the development of Islamic Bank of Kazakhstan. So let's go. Okay guys, so let's proceed with our agenda for today. So did you guys know that a full-fledged Islamic bank in Kazakhstan was established in 2010? The name of the bank was Al Hilal Bank. So I want to share with all of you the development from 2009 until 2019. So let's profit 2009. The 2009, Kazakhstan became the first country to develop a special framework for Islamic finance by establish ADIF, the Association for Development of Islamic Finance, in 2009. So 2010, I mentioned before, a full-fledged Islamic bank, Al Hilal, was established, and the first takaful company was operated as a mutual insurance society. Okay, now we go to the 2011. 2011, a forum, Islamic forum, was held of 7 World Islamic Economic Forum to discuss on the sukuk market development. With all of that, they set up a new amendment to the legislation has been adopted. In 2012, here we can see that the government of Kazakhstan has approved a roadmap of Islamic finance development to plan on the Islamic finance until the year 2020. And next, the development of Bank of Kazakhstan, where they issued a first sukuk amount $76.7 million US. And then the National Bank of Kazakhstan became a member of IFSB, Islamic Finance Shariah Board. Okay, now we go to the 2013, the establishment of first IJARah company by Islamic Corporation for Development Private Sector. Okay guys, now we go to the 2014. The National Bank of Kazakhstan has introduced Islamic finance legislation and framework with the cooperation of IDB. And then the President of Kazakhstan was awarded the Global Islamic Finance Award, GIFA. Other than that, National Bank of Kazakhstan also become observer member for the Accounting and Auditing Organization for Islamic Finance Institution, IUFI. Okay, so for 2015, a memorandum between the National Bank of Kazakhstan with the Association for Development of Islamic Finance was signed. Other than that, 12th summit of IFSB was held, discussed on the legal provision to allow conventional bank to convert to Islamic bank. And then on 2015 also, they established Astana International Financial Center, AIFC, to focus on the Islamic finance as their pillar. Okay, now we go to the 2017. We can see here that Astana Financial Service Authority under the AIFC said Islamic bank was defined as authorized firm where the business are conducted based on the Sharia. And then we go to the 2018 AIFC Bureau with a cooperation with Chartered Institution for Securities and Investment of Great Britain, preparing a person who will become professional in Islamic finance. What they cooperate, they want to give Islamic finance qualification. They also introduce advanced diploma in Islamic finance, certified Islamic professional accountant by IUFI, and lastly, AIFC Board, Shariah Board, was established to monitor on the Astana International Exchange, AIX. Okay, now we go to the 2019. AIFC had created a regulatory environment for the Islamic finance, takaful, banking and the capital market with ASEAN Development Banking. To strengthen the Kazakhstan Islamic finance, AIFC has sent a representative at the Islamic Financial Service Board, IFSB. Other than that, AIFC had created a full-fledged market they create on how suku can be traded in the AIX. AIFC also came up with a requirement for any banks to operate in Kazakhstan where they must have a minimum base capital. For the conventional bank, they must have 26 million US dollar. Meanwhile, for the Islamic bank, they only need a minimum of 10 million US dollar. For 2019, there are 180 companies registered with the AIFC from many kind of Islamic institutions.
Hi, my name is IZYAN HAFIZAH and my matric number is 272278. I will present the next slide. The next slide is about SWOT analysis of Islamic finance development trend in Kazakhstan. Okay, the first one is strength. So, Islamic finance development trend in Kazakhstan strengths are: the first one is availability of potential market of the IF tools. And then, next one is new products that are highly trusted. Okay, the next one is control over the use of credit funds according to Sharia principles. And then, government support. So, the government of Kazakhstan will support this Islamic finance development trend in Kazakhstan because Kazakhstan is an Islamic country, so they will help this trend. Then support by AIFC, and there's also support from leading Islamic financial institution, and last one is access to cheap funding sources. Okay, the second one is weakness. The first one for weakness is lack of market share business process. It is because of Kazakhstan is a small country rather than other big country, so the market share is still not going to worldwide. Then the next one is low level of Islamic financial literacy. Then the third one is lack of personnel with experience with Islamic financial product. Even though Kazakhstan is an Islamic country, but the Islamic financial product is new to them because before this, only conventional financial product has been introduced. And also, there are only several amount of people who had experience with this Islamic product. Okay, the next one is incomplete adaptation of local banking and tax legislation to the specific of Islamic finance. And the last one is limited number of operational services. As I mentioned that Islamic financial product is a new trend, then there are several services offered in Kazakhstan. Okay, the third analysis is opportunities. Number one is access liquidity in countries with Islamic economies. As Kazakhstan had too many liquidity, it is a good opportunity for Islamic finance to develop in this country. Okay. Number two, high demand for credit resources from the corporate sector. Because of they had access liquidity, so the corporate sector scramble over it even though the price is higher. Then number three, Kazakhstan is one of the most popular Islamic finance in Central Asian region. Then the last one, number four, this Islamic finance developed because of the cooperation of Islamic financial institution with universities of Kazakhstan. Okay, the last analysis is threat. For the threats, the first one is deepening financial crisis. Then the next one is underdevelopment of the national stock market. Then next one is low awareness of the population, alertness. And then increasing competition from non-Islamic financial institutions. Also legislative and administrative barriers. And the last one is deteriorations of the investment climate. Okay, from the analysis of Islamic finance development trend in Kazakhstan, I can conclude that the current situation is favorable for Islamic finance, but there is stagnation in development process. And it also have an increased demand from both business and the state to Islamic finance instruments. However, as a result of administrative and legislation barriers, there are difficulties in attracting Islamic investment around the world. And at the same time, existing expectations are significantly distorted by the lack of knowledge of potential clients in the field of Islamic finance. And the last one, there are some shortcomings and there are certain ambiguities and difficulties in the tax accounting of Islamic finance product.
Islamic banking in Kazakhstan provide a wide range of financial instruments for both corporate clients and individuals. The most common are murabahah, ijara, mudarabah, and wakalah. Murabahah is a cross between a classic loan and leasing. The transactions is based on an asset previously purchased by the bank, which is sold to the client at a surcharge. The bank remains the owner of the product until the customer repays the entire agreed amount. Ijara is the Islamic equivalent of classical leasing, where the bank purchases property and enters into a leasing agreement with the client. Mudarabah is the type of banking service used for opening deposits. The specificity of this product is that the bank does not specify in advance the remuneration rate that the client will receive. Last but not least is wakalah. Wakalah is a deposit with a fixed percentage of profit. This type of banking service is analogous to deposits in the traditional financial system. The only difference is that the profit is issued only at the end of the deposit term. In general, the demand for these banking products has increased dramatically in recent years. This is due to the fact that Islamic banks are almost the only financial institutions in the world that have not been affected by the global economic crisis. At the moment, none of them need significant financial assistance to survive, which means that to some extent they are safer for storing savings than traditional banks. Currently, there are two Islamic banks in Kazakhstan, which is Al Hilal and Zaman Bank. As of August 1, 2020, the total assets of the two Islamic banks in Kazakhstan reached 72.1 billion, while a year earlier, this amount was 57.4 billion. In other words, assets grew by 25.6% year-on-year. At the same time, the largest Islamic bank in Kazakhstan, which is Al Hilal, increased its assets by 39% to 48.5 billion. The assets of Zaman Bank increased by 5% and amount to 23.7 billion. The loan portfolio of banks is also growing, with an increase of about 41% over the year. It is noteworthy that the share of loans with overdue payments over 90 days in Al Hilal Bank is 0%, in Zaman Bank is 3%, while in the Republic the indicator is 9%, and in some banks it even exceeds 50%. The growth is also observed in deposits and customer accounts. For the year, they increased by 63%, reaching 24.4 billion. However, this led to the fact that Al Hilal Bank's current liabilities on deposits and customer accounts exceed the loan portfolio by 14.4 million. So, now the bank's expenses are higher than its income. Currently, Islamic banking is the fastest growing segment of the financial sector in Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan intends to further develop the Islamic banking industry as an alternative source of financing for the economy.